Welcome back. Thanks for staying tuned to CNN News 18. Our non-stop rolling coverage on the investigations into the Delhi car blast continues. We've been piecing together crucial evidence, including CCTV footage that continues to trickle in. That's really establishing the timeline, the movement of the I-20 car that exploded right behind me. We're at the Red Fort. This is the very location where the explosion took place. It's led to 8 deaths so far, at least 8 deaths, more than 20 people currently undergoing treatment. But more breaking news coming in. We're getting yet another CCTV footage of the I-20 car. The man driving the car can be seen entering the Red Fort parking area at 3:19. Do remember, from 3:19 to the next 3 hours, this car was parked in this very parking. Close to 6:22 is when it left the parking area and the bomb blew off. Remember, before 6:55 p.m. is when the explosion took place. But this is yet another CCTV footage that we've accessed where the car can be seen entering the Red Fort parking area. This is the parking area adjacent to the Red Fort. This is where the car was stationed for 3 hours. Day before evening. Going across to Anshul Singh for more. Anshul, of the several CCTV footages that we've managed to collect, access, put it out for our viewers, is the picture any clearer on what this car looked like for those 3 hours? Whether Umar stepped out of the car, any sort of communication took place? What is this latest CCTV establishing for us?
So what intelligence sources have told us is that the accused Umar did not step out of his vehicle for more than 3 hours, as we have been mentioning in the timeline, that around 3:15 p.m. was the time when he had entered inside the parking lot, and since then he continued to sit inside the vehicle itself, and he was all alone in that vehicle. Also, it is very pertinent to note that in all the CCTV footages that have come to the fore, Umar cannot be seen using a mobile phone, which is an indicator that he was not keeping any digital devices along with him, because he knew that the police will be able to track him if at all any digital devices are near him. So he was very clear in his mind that he needed to go ahead and carry out this entire incident. Red Fort was selected particularly because being a Monday on which this incident had happened, places like Kashmiri Gate and Connaught Place, which were recceed or which were the locations where Umar went before parking his car over here at the Sunehri Bagh parking, he went to these locations. But since it was a Monday afternoon and the markets are generally closed, specifically in Kashmiri Gate as well, and the shops are also closed in Connaught Place on Monday as well, and hence he decided to go at a location which has a lot of footfall, and that one location was over here at Chandni Chowk, because be it Sunday, be it Monday, there are no off days over here. There is a constant traffic jam that is present over here at Chandni Chowk, and hence he came over here, he parked his vehicle, he stayed inside his vehicle, trying to make sure that no one sees him, no one observes him, and he stayed inside the vehicle very, very silently for more than 3.5 hours. And then eventually, as the sun set, he took out his vehicle, came towards this red light right behind me, slowed down his vehicle, and then eventually probably detonated his vehicle is what has happened. The investigating agencies have also found that it was a detonated bomb that was utilized. The detonation happened, and due to which this entire bomb blast happened. So those theories that were coming to the fore, that this could have been a blast that could have happened when they were trying to move the explosives from one location to another, seems to be going to dust at this point in time, and it is increasingly seeming like that this was a planned attack in such a manner that even if they were not able to prepare the bomb to the fullest, at least they have the equipments, they have the detonators, they have the explosives, they have a CNG vehicle, they have petrol in their vehicle, which could actually increase the impact of the blast as well.
Because a lot of questions are being asked on if this was a full-blown explosive, why are there no signs of shrapnels, etc. That's still under the purview of investigation. But Dr. Umar Nabi holds the key to this probe. His mortal remains are yet to be identified, and that really is going to be the last piece of this puzzle that's going to help investigators understand what really went on here. But Dr. Umar Nabi, remember, had accomplices who have been exposed, some of whom have been arrested as well. Let's quickly shift our focus to more. We're learning about Dr. Parvez Ansari. Dr. Parvez Ansari is also the sibling of Dr. Shahina, who was arrested from Lucknow immediately after searches and raids were carried out in Faridabad at premises linked to Dr. Muzammil, and that's where 2,900 kgs of explosive material was also recovered. Now more news coming in. Dr. Parvez, about Parvez Ansari's role. He used keypad phones. Agencies have recovered these phones among other electronic gadgets. 3 keypad phones, 1 hard disk, some other gadgets have been seized from premises linked to him. It has also come to light that Dr. Parvez was in contact with Muzammil. Parvez was in constant touch with Sister Shahina as well. So this is the kind of terror nexus that we're talking about. It starts from a university, a medical college in Anantnag, goes up to another university in Faridabad, just 45 kilometers from Delhi, the heart of the country, the capital of the country. And there are pieces and traces that can be found in places like Lucknow, which is where these 2 arrests, that of Dr. Shahina and Dr. Parvez, have taken place. Going across to Anshul with more. Anshul, Dr. Parvez has also been taken in. Searches have been carried out on premises linked to him. Tell us the significance that comes with the recovery of this kind of digital evidence and what investigators believe they've found so far.
Well, Parvez is the brother of Shahina, and when searches were conducted at his residence, it was very shocking for the agencies as well that a person in this day and age, an educated person in this day and age, is using keypad phone, and not only 1 but 3 keypad phones have been recovered from him. A laptop has been recovered from him. Hard disks have been recovered from him, and that eventually became the reason why Dr. Parvez has now been taken into custody. He has officially been arrested by UP ATS and the Jammu Kashmir Police in the joint operation that they had taken out. In fact, this is very scary to note as well, that something like this was happening in places like Lucknow, where such educated people with having degrees of doctors, they are also so indoctrinated that they are ready to give up their careers, they are ready to give up their families, they are ready to die for the so-called cause of fight for jihad. And that is how this entire nexus has come to the fore. There are links that have been established between him, Shahina and Muzammil. Remember, Muzammil, Shahina and Umar, all of them were employed in the same university out here in Faridabad, that is the Al Falah University. And from there, this entire plan was actually charted out as to how there could be different bomb blasts or explosions that could be done in different parts of the country. And that is the reason why, as we just told our viewers, that Saharanpur was also selected as a location where a small command and control center could be set up. Faridabad was one of the locations from where this indoctrination started out here in Northern India. The place from where the explosives have been recovered, that was being used as a warehouse, that can be said, because 2,563 kgs of explosives being recovered from just one single room tells an entire story of how from this place itself, that is from the warehouse, smaller portions were being taken out and were being distributed to different parts, because the 360 kg of ammonium nitrate that has been recovered from 300 meters away from the gates of the Al Falah University, this clearly indicates that a smaller consignment from the total consignment that they had collected over the past many years was taken out from there, was kept at a separate location for the purposes of usage. Remember, 20 timers and detonators have also been recovered from the same location as well. So they were in all plans were made to carry out explosions. Locations were being earmarked. As we told our viewers, that one of the locations was Red Fort, which was recceed. Apart from that, from the phone of Adil as well, there are several pictures that have been accessed by the agencies. These pictures are of different parts of the national capital. In fact, this year itself, Adil travelled to the national capital several times, and he took pictures of several locations in his phone as well, and that is something that has also been recovered by the agencies. So seemingly at this point in time, we are reaching that conclusion that there is a direct link, the direct nexus that has been established between the blast that happened over here and Al Falah University. The only thing, or the only issue that needs to be sorted out is just that DNA sampling to be done. If at all that DNA sample comes out of Dr. Umar, then it would be absolutely clear that there is a direct link. But the evidences that have come out till now, they are establishing a link between Al Falah University and the blast that happened out here at the Red Fort.
Varsity in the news for all the wrong reasons in connection with the ongoing probe in the Delhi blast case. Anshul, stay on with us. Speaking of which, we have more breaking news coming in. We're also learning